Prince Harry is now hilariously dubbed the Duke of Diamonds by the Daily Mail. Harry decided to zoom into a NATO meeting, proving once again that when it comes to taking the spotlight, he's a pro, even if that spotlight is now just a virtual one. Cue the canned laughter. So, what's the occasion? According to NATO's official website, this grand meeting was supposedly a follow-up discussion with NATO's military committee, led by Admiral Rob Bauer, the same admiral who made an appearance at the 10th anniversary of the Invictus Games at St. Paul's Cathedral back in May. In attendance were some big names from the Invictus Games, including CEO Dominic Reed, who was rumoured to be on his way out back in July, but like a bad penny keeps turning up. Nothing like a little job in security to liven up a meeting. Now, the relationship between NATO and the Invictus Games is as old as time itself. Well, at least since 2023 when NATO hosted the Dutch and Belgian teams at its headquarters. Fast forward to May of this year and the Invictus Games Foundation had the honour of speaking at the NATO Youth Summit. NATO Review even managed to squeeze in a feature on veteran captain Julia Ehrich, a participant in the Invictus Games. So at least someone's getting some recognition. Meanwhile, the Invictus Games are facing criticism for losing their way and becoming too royal. Ever since Meghan Markle made a grand debut as Harry's girlfriend at an Invictus Games event in 2017, she's been a headline hog. Remember when the media went wild over her wardrobe instead of the athletes? Let's not forget Meghan's entrance at the Games in Germany, 4 days late of course, while armed with a list of demands fit for a diva. One would think that she was checking into a 5-star resort, not an event meant to celebrate injured veterans. Speaking of which, her speech was all about her, leading the crowd to wonder why they were even there in the first place. Instead of applauding the incredible veterans, the conversation shifted to her latest adventures in milkshake making for her children. And those wardrobe changes, Meghan racked up a staggering $350,000 in outfits. A reasonable investment if you're trying to divert attention from the actual purpose of the event. The speculation swirling around whether Invictus funded this fashion frenzy is absolutely delicious. Did they pay her for her appearances too? Who knows? All we know is that the veterans sure aren't getting the spotlight that they deserve. Perhaps the cherry on top of this royal sundae was Harry's apparent distancing from Meghan during his speech. Ignoring the diva might just be his way of managing the PR disaster that is his wife's reputation. The backlash from their last promotional tour in Whistler, where Meghan flaunted $35,000 worth of clothing while ignoring Invictus branded gear, only added fuel to the fire. Meanwhile, Catherine the Princess of Wales outshines Meghan by donning athletic gear while promoting causes that matter like the Rugby Football League. All this is leaving a bitter taste in the mouth of many. With 2,000 veterans reportedly leaving the Invictus Games, one has to wonder about the organisation's future. How motivating is it to participate when you're left to shoulder the cost of injuries on your own? And here's a little tidbit for the taxpayers. The Canadian government's tossing around $30 million for the upcoming Games, which with only 550 participants expected, breaking down to a cool $60,000 per athlete. Does anyone else smell a serious financial audit coming? In summary, as Harry continues to parade around with the title of Invictus founder despite a petition against it, one has to wonder who's really benefiting from this royal spectacle. As Harry dials into NATO meetings and delivers speeches to half-empty rooms, it's safe to say that he needs the Invictus Games far more than they need him. How delightful. Perhaps it's time for him and Meghan to retreat from the limelight and leave the veterans to shine.